All right, so I wanted to go over the cat vaccine. So if you have a cat and you get this alphabet soup card in the mail that says FVRCPC, FEQV, or something thereabouts, then it's hard to know, what does my cat really need? What is this all about? Well, this is kind of interesting. In the way I've always learned it was FVRCP, C is or the feline quad vac. There's really 4 things in here. So if we look at FVR, C and P and C, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Feline viral rhinotracheitis it causes the rhinotracheitis is nose and trachea, so it's an upper respiratory disease. It causes runny eyes and runny nose, and these little kittens can get very sick from that. Well, this feline viral rhinotracheitis is caused by a feline herpes virus. It is it can be known as feline herpes virus as well. You may think, if you get a cold sore, that the virus that causes that is a herpes virus, and it comes back from time to time whenever you're stressed. Well, you're a carrier of that particular herpes virus. There's a venereal disease called herpes virus, or I guess we call it STD now, or sexually transmitted disease. It's different. But so, same thing with a cat. They can have a herpes virus in their eye, and if they have an infection of it, it'll stay with them for their lifetime, and every once in a while they get a little weepy eye and they can have problems. It's a sign that they're under stress of some sort. So, feline viral rhinotracheitis, chlamydia. Well, as I learned it when I was in school, it was chlamydia psittaci, but now it's been reclassified. This organism is not really a bacteria, it's not really a virus, but it's been reclassified as Chlamydophila felis. So that's the first C up here, and it's an upper respiratory thing as well. Panleukopenia. This is the interesting. This is a really, if you're into the nerdy vet technical tip here, this panleukopenia is the source of all of our discussion right now, all of our confusion really, because we call this virus, a lot of times we call it feline distemper, because your dog needs a distemper shot and your cat needs a feline distemper shot. Well, that is totally wrong. It's a total misnomer. Well, back in the day, these cats started getting feline panleukopenia virus, and this panleukopenia, pan means all, leuc means white, and penia means deficiency. So all the white blood cells are deficient. They have this crash in their white blood cells, and they got very sick. And people said it looked like distemper back in the day, the 60s or 70s, whenever this was discovered. I may be wrong. Comment below if I am. So this panleukopenia, we said, well, cats are getting distemper now. Let's call it cat distemper. Let's call it feline distemper. And then it just stuck. And people are saying it's so easy. It's hard to say FVRCPC. It's easier just to say, let's just give them the feline distemper shot. And there's actually 4 other things in there, but we're not telling everybody. But so there's the inside scoop on that. Panleukopenia, calicivirus. Going back to panleukopenia, I'm getting a little nerdy on this, is this panleukopenia virus actually a parvovirus? So if you're going to call it anything, you should have called it feline parvo instead of canine parvo. But not. Let's just let that go, Jeff. Let's water under the bridge. Let's move on, okay? So calicivirus is another one. That's another upper respiratory virus. And of course, I put rabies up here. Every cat needs this. They need the rabies shot, and they need this 4-way shot, or this upper respiratory complex shot, so, or vaccine if we want to call it that. The feline leukemia is another virus, and I'm going to cover this together. This FIV is feline immunodeficiency virus. They're very similar because they both affect the immune system. They both make cats very sick. They both are permanent usually. There's a little caveat to leukemia. Young cats sometimes can get that and clear it from their system, but most of the time, once they have it, they're stuck with it for life, and it's going to make them sick at some point. It could be a bad thing. So there's no cure for it once they have it. But there's a vaccine. So if you're outside, if you're a cat that goes outside, then you may need these vaccines. The thing is, they don't make the FIV vaccine anymore, and there's some controversy about that. The vaccine would cause antibodies and show positive on our tests, and vets were confused by it, and I think that vets were reluctant to use it. And I think, this is only me talking, but I think the manufacturer said, you know what, we're not selling enough of this vaccine, and we're not making enough money, we're going to stop making it. And I think that's what happened. So Feline leukemia is something that they cannot catch by casual contact. They have to have body fluid transfer. They have to have close contact. They're sharing a litter box or they're biting another cat. That's what happens in stray cats outside a lot of times, and they inject their saliva under the skin and they transmit leukemia or FIV. So keeping your cat indoors is a big safety issue. But sometimes they have to go outside. If it's an outside cat, they should be tested every year for these vaccines and these two viruses, and they should be vaccinated every year. There's a couple more obscure things. If you have Bordetella, cats can actually get Bordetella as well, just like dogs do. The kennel cough organism of dogs that can go around in cats. But this is really something we think about in cat colonies, where cats are really in high density areas with lots of cats. So we don't worry about that one very often. Unless we have a specific case, we would actually go order some vaccine and have it in a couple days and go out to someone's cat colony and vaccinate everybody if they're having trouble. So FIP is feline infectious peritonitis. It is a very complicated disease. It's a strange disease. It's hard to diagnose. There's a virus that kind of mutates inside the cat system, we think. And again, in cat colonies, sometimes that becomes an issue, but the vaccine can actually be dangerous in some situations, so we don't do that one. Dermatophyte is another word for ringworm or fungus. And some of these cats, again, if you have a lot of cats, you bring a stray cat in, and he's got a little patchy hair loss, and all of a sudden everybody's losing their hair and breaking out these scabby sores. You get this ringworm fungus, and it can live on the cat's hair and the cat's skin and just be dormant there forever. And it's a source of ringworm for you and your family. So on a rare occasion, we actually use a vaccination to stimulate that cat's immune system to help them fight off the ringworm. But that's not something we do every year. It's something that we would do in a special occasion. So we don't see it very often. If you see Dr. Rohrig in the clinic, she's our sentinel, as we say. If someone's going to get ringworm, she's the one who's going to get it. So we just watch her, and if she breaks out, and everybody's like, look out. So anyhow, that's the summary of the cat vaccines. I hope that's helpful. If you have any other questions, give us a call, 434-836-2499. If you like these videos, please do me a big favor and subscribe to it. It helps our channel get out there. It helps us help other people. Share it, like it, send it along. Just if it's worthwhile, please help us. Thanks.